Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Professionals Podcast here in the Professionals Group. My name is Guy Dawson, and I am the managing member of Plastic Communications, a full service public relations and marketing company. And I am here with Mary Grace Yniguez. She is the big shot, the CEO of the Social Register. Welcome to the Professionals Podcast, Mary Grace.
Thank you so much for having me, Guy. I'm happy to be here.
Mary Grace and I have known each other for many years through the networking community here in Las Vegas. Mary Grace, how long have you been a part of the Social Register?
Wow, almost 10 years.
It has been that long.
I know. I didn't even realize it until people asked me the question. I'm like, well, yeah, I was working for Claire for almost 10 years as her COO before taking over.
Yes, I know that you, again, Claire, who I've also known for many years, was the former owner of the Social Register, and you were her right hand woman for many years.
Yes, she's an amazing mentor. She was like a second mother to me. I guess that's why I stuck around, right, for almost 10 years.
So, what did you learn about professionalism working with Claire?
Oh, she was a big part of my growth. I mean, I was working for her when I was 23 years old. So just coming out of college and coming from the corporate legal side, I learned so much from her. Just how to speak and how to have grace and be gracious to others. I feel like those are things that if you're not taught that when you're younger or you don't learn that through other mentors, you learn it from people like Claire. Like Claire was very gracious in everything she did, very professional in anything she did.
And I know the Social Register, Mary Grace, it's really about professionalism at the level of etiquette, of being someone who is of impact in your community. Will you explain the culture of the Social Register and the story behind how it actually developed into what it is today?
Yes. So Social Register has been in Las Vegas for over 25 years. I think we hit our 26th year this year. And it started out in Vegas. And before Claire purchased it, it was owned by another gentleman. And it started out more of a social club. It was more of like a who's who. And people were a part of this club to attend really elaborate galas, do a lot of fundraising and charity. It was more of the who's who social club. Claire was a member of that organization, and then that previous owner was selling the business, and of course Claire purchased it, and she continued on with the galas and doing elaborate events. But through the years she has shifted to a business networking organization. It just fit, and especially when we hit that first crash in 2008 2009, she had to pivot at that time and shift the business to business networking. So when I was working with her for 10 years, we just really worked on creating more networking events that are more creative to bring people together. And then we really took it up a notch with our marketing and social media and all of that. So with her, it was all about growing to the business where it was last year. And then I took over, and now we have expanded nationally. So we're not only in Las Vegas. Vegas has become one of the chapters, and now it's Social Register Network. And then we have a chapter in Chicago, in Washington, D.C., in Orange County, and Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch the evolution of the Social Register. Again, as you had mentioned, when I first started to learn about the Social Register, it was definitely known more on that side, these galas, and it's been really interesting to watch the evolution. As you mentioned now, you guys have been deeply ingrained in the networking community for quite a few years now, and tell me about the shift in clientele in going through that. And you've got a different type of professional that you're reaching out to now as compared to even 10 years ago.
Yes. So the focus before was anyone who made a decision for their company. So you can be an executive, a professional, you can be a director, you can be a VP, and all of that. And of course, we welcome the business owners and entrepreneurs. But since I've taken over, and I think what's played a part with that is the pandemic, sad to say, but the pandemic, it has really helped me decide what is the mission and what kind of impact I want to leave. And so I've shifted a tiny bit where the organization is really here to support the business community, as in small business and large business owners and entrepreneurs. So we still offer the networking, but we focus more on creating a meaningful connection and helping you build that tribe and network. But along with that, we offer business resources. So if you need help with marketing, social media, if you just need support in any way, because as you know, Guy, you're an entrepreneur, sometimes it can be a lonely space, and it's great to just have that tribe or people you can lean on. So that's the shift that we've made this past year.
Yeah, having been a member of the social register several times, I mean, I've gotten a tremendous amount of value being a part of the organization, of course, working with both you and Claire. And one of the things that's always stood out to me, Mary Grace, about what the social register does in terms of raising the level of professionalism is the places that you put on these events under normal circumstances. Of course, over the last year, that has all shifted, but can you share with us about the venues, some of the amazing venues that the social register uses to promote its brand and its professionalism?
Yes, so that is one thing that makes us different. We do pride ourselves in choosing venues or having, I think it goes back to the kind of members we have too, because a lot of the venues that we go to are members of our organization. So one of them is the Foundation Room at the Mandalay Bay, or the Capitol Grill, or Panavino, or one of the country clubs here in Las Vegas. We try to make it different, and also try to keep it off of the strip. But if we do go on the strip, it's easy for locals to get to, because obviously we're servicing our business community here in Las Vegas or whatever city we're in. It's just one of the things that we have carried on for the past 25 years, is just really looking for those elite venues where people normally don't have access to, or maybe they don't know of. So we try to have our events at those venues.
And as you had mentioned before, you were right out of college. You started working with Claire at the social register. In the networking experience, which you've been a part of for quite a while now, what stands out for you in terms of professionalism? What are you looking for when you are seeking out members or other people to network with?
That's a great question, because I feel like networking sometimes has a stigma around it, because people, when you think of networking, sometimes people think of that business card passing or just trying to make that sell. But for us, the ideal member is somebody who is tired of all of that, and they really want to make a connection and be a support team to other business owners and entrepreneurs. And you really want to take the time and get to know others. You want the support back, but you want to give the support as well. So it's somebody who really values making a meaningful connection and building a quality network, and knowing that a tribe is really important as a business owner or entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's a good point that you make, Mary Grace, about literally the networking experience is something far beyond just having a pocket full of business cards and just handing out your business cards. It's really about relationships, and some of these relationships, as I had mentioned before, you and I have known each other for a decade, and so that really creates a different type of professional experience when we know a lot of the same people, and I guess that is sort of the way that you are shaping the culture of the social register, in that the relationships and the professionalism is built through creating strong relationships with people and tribes, as you had mentioned before.
Yes. I think also priding yourself in making meaningful connections can lead to so much more. So I know for me, owning the business for 1 year, it was something new for me, making a shift from COO to CEO. I needed the support team. And so because I've built that tribe those past 10 years and people I've got to know, there were people that I can lean on. And it doesn't always have to be business. It could be something personal. A lot of these business relationships usually turn into friendships, longtime friendships.
What has surprised you the most since you've moved from being the COO to the CEO of the Social Register?
You asked that question, and I just made a post about that yesterday. I didn't think it was going to be a huge change, but one of the things is really slowing it down. So when I was the COO, I was in charge of making sure the operations ran and the business was intact and the events were going and the members were taken care of. But as a business owner, now I have someone, as the CEO, now I have someone else doing that. And I need to just sit back and make sure that the final decisions and decisions we are making is really going to be the best interest for our members and our organization. That's one of the huge changes that I've had in the last year, because I'm used to being on the go, always having things in order, always having operations intact. But I needed to really come to terms with it, that that's not my job anymore, and it's much bigger than that. It's moving the needle within the business, and how are we going to expand, and what kind of benefits and events that we can offer to members.
And of course, you mentioned that you've been the CEO for a year, which happens to be one of the most interesting years that any of us have ever experienced. What has it been for you? Of course, this adjustment. I know you've been doing some online events with the Social Register. Tell me how you were able to up your game in terms of professionalism by adapting to the online platform.
Yes. So when I took over, it was only 2 months, and then the pandemic hit. And at first, I was a bit nervous. My husband is a co-owner as well, but he's more behind the scenes. And him and I spoke just really what my values were and what I felt was important that we do. And the thing that stood out to me is, how am I going to deliver benefits? Like, how am I going to deliver these benefits to members if one of the main pieces is in-person events? So within a couple of weeks, we launched virtual speed networking. And then we, as a team, knew that we value helping and supporting the community. So we started pushing out a ton of business webinars. So I would get experts and they would educate on different topics. And then also with the benefits that you normally pay extra for, we just went ahead and across the board gave it to everybody. So if you wanted to do a marketing to our email database, we gave that to you if you normally had to pay for that. And then we also pivoted and started doing Zoom interviews. We tried to figure out more ways that we can deliver benefits and keep our members out in the forefront, and then also continue the networking. But yeah, I have to admit, when it first hit, Guy, I was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We have members who are joining left and right. And then how am I going to deliver these benefits? But we were able to pivot in a very short time. So that was crazy, but I'm very proud of our team.
Right. And that speaks to your level of professionalism, Mary Grace, that you were able to make that adaptation because, as you know, there are other people in business here in Vegas in the networking community or other aspects of our business out here who have not been able to make that pivot. We're not able to make the adaptation to the online space, which is what we all had to adapt to. And now that we are starting to peek our heads out, it looks like things are starting to turn around and there's going to be more interaction here in the networking community. What are some of the things on the horizon for the Social Register?
So the virtual events definitely will not be going anywhere. Because we have expanded nationally, now it allows you as a member to network with anyone nationally. So the virtual events will stay. But since Vegas is starting to open up, we will be having our first live event in April. And it will be a mixer. And we're just going to kind of feel out the environment and the temperature and make sure that we're being safe, of course. But yeah, look out for an in-person event in April. And then from there, we should be continuing having one every single month and going back to what we used to. But also the chapters that we've opened will be able to do their launch events. So if you're ever in Chicago and Washington, D.C. or Orange County, if you're a member and they have live events, you could go ahead and attend those events because it's included in your membership.
As you mentioned, Mary Grace, one of the great things that has come out of all of this experience with the pandemic is it has truly shown us that we can network with people all over the world in a way that we probably haven't been doing because we're just so accustomed to the face-to-face experience. And now, as you had mentioned, you talk about pivoting. I mean, what an opportunity that you created out of a difficult situation, now being able to tap into other markets, connect professionals from different regions. That seems like that's going to be very helpful for your business model.
It is. Thank you so much for that. I think it's just really bringing it to another level. And I mean, when Claire was the owner, we already knew, and we knew at our hearts that we can network outside of Las Vegas. And I think we could learn so much from different climates. I mean, from all over the world. And just launching that, I've met so many different people. So my chapter directors, believe it or not, I met them through online networking because of the pandemic. So the person who runs my Chicago chapter is Hannah Kruger, and her and I met through social media. So a lot of this online networking has really opened up doors for the social register and a lot of great opportunities. So I don't think the networking online will go anywhere. And I suggest if you're listening in and you haven't tried a networking online because you feel like it's not something you like to do and you love the in-person events, I would definitely try it. I feel kind of 50-50 about it because in person, I love in-person interaction. I'm sure, Guy, you do too, because you're from the networking space. But I feel like in person, it's like fast paced. Like when you're at an event, you talk to someone for maybe 10 minutes, then you kind of move on to the next one. With the online networking, like Zoom, like what we're doing right now, we are able to make a connection and really get to know each other for 30 minutes. And it's really another layer to it. I feel that it has opened up another layer versus the in-person.
It really is an acquired taste, Mary, but like you had
Yeah.
mentioned, you get it, right? After a while,
Mhm.
you start to figure out
Yeah.
how to make it work. And I mean, it is just a conversation, even though we can't reach out and touch one another like we would in our traditional environment, you can make it work for you. And I think that definitely people may be skeptical about online networking, but it's here to stay. You are right. I think that yes, we will return to our physical networking, but I think that it'll be more of a hybrid experience I see in the future in terms of networking for us all. And I think again that there are tremendous advantages to that in terms of different people that we're going to be able to reach out and touch who we wouldn't have
Mhm.
otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the other day, I met a woman who is Germany, in Germany, and her and I networked. She became a member, and now she's going to start doing some webinars for us. So if we never started networking online, I would have never met her. So I love the online networking, but I do miss the live in-person events because I do love seeing the members in person and being able to shake hands or give hugs because I'm a huggy person.
Yes, I know you are. And I'm looking forward to one of these days getting together with you again, Mary Grace,
Right?
and giving you a big hug.
Absolutely. You're going to have to come out to the April one so then we can go ahead and give each other a hug and really network and see everybody. I think a lot of people that you know and I know would be so happy to just see each other in person.
I am looking forward to that. And if you could give someone a piece of advice on how they could become a greater professional, Mary Grace, what would you tell them?
Hmm. What I would tell somebody is come from a place of giving and support. So if you're networking, if you're meeting somebody, if you just met someone for the first time and they just launched a new business, if you come from a place where how can I support you? What can I do to help you? How can I help promote your event? Whatever it is, I think that is the most professional thing you can do, but also shows a place in their heart of where you're coming from, like what kind of person you are. So if you can support and give to others, that will come back tenfold. I mean, that's not why you should do it, but I feel that that's the best way to network.
Yes, the whole giver's gain mentality. That is outstanding advice. And for anyone out there who wants to learn more about the social register, how can they get in contact with you?
Yes, you could just go to our website. It's socialregister.com. And then if we're on social media, we're on Facebook and Instagram, and it is Social Register Network. And then if you want to check out the chapters, it's the same. It's Social Register and then the city.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by. Mary Grace Yniguez. She is with the social register, the CEO. At one time the COO, and I'm just so proud of your growth, Mary Grace, knowing you through these years and what you've learned a lot about professionalism. And again, Claire Zeta, she's just a wonderful mentor. I mean, you couldn't have had a better mentor for what it is that you aspire to do. And so just I wish you nothing but continued luck and success with the social register.
Thank you so much, Guy. It was such an honor to be on here. Please reach out to me if I can support you and this professional group because I'm in here as well.
Yes, and for all of you out there who are professionals, we have these podcasts that we host once a week at 1 p.m. We have our regular podcast host, Christina Stefan, is going to be doing an interview in here next week with another outstanding professional. Also, tomorrow, March the 4th, we're going to be having the Professionals Workshop. And this month's presentation is going to be given by Jason LeDuc, and he's going to do a presentation titled The Perfect Pitch, and he's going to be talking about how to present ideas to people in business. It's from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. He'll be doing his presentation. We'll also have a networking opportunity, so we'd love to have you participate in that. We'll be having more updates in the group about that over the course of the day. We also have, of course, lots and lots and lots of opportunities to network with your fellow professionals. And we've just got a lot of things in the works that we want you all to get a piece of. Take advantage of the professionals group and go out there and thrive and prosper like a true professional. Have an outstanding day.